Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast, powered by Healthy Steps Nutrition Mentoring. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach. We know that helping our clients become the best and healthiest versions of themselves isn't just about what they eat or going to the gym a few hours a week. We have to focus on a holistic approach, addressing nutrition, stress management, sleep, mindset, support system, and of course, lifestyle and exercise. My name is Nicole Aucoin, and I'm the founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition and one of the dietitians here. In this podcast, we're going to teach you how to take one step at a time to build a successful nutrition coaching program. Today's podcast guest is Nikki Graham. She is a wealth of knowledge and comes to this podcast with a few lenses. She is a gym owner, a nutrition coach, and she's also a part of the HSN mentoring team, where she mentors gym owners on building nutrition coaching programs and also leads up our coach development program, Coaching the Coaches. This is an immersive program that gives every single person who's going through the training, whether you're a gym owner or a nutrition coach, 6 weeks of nutrition coaching so you can experience the program from a client's perspective. Ultimately, our goal is to empower confident nutrition coaches. And today, in this podcast episode, we're going to talk about a few things that you should think about when you are thinking about coach development for the nutrition coaching program. Now, when we think about a gym, it is really easy to think about coach development. Are you evaluating your fitness coaches? It's really easy for you to walk into a 6 a.m. class or a 6 p.m. class and see, are both of these running the same? Are they delivered at the level of professionalism that I'm wanting for my fitness program? It is not that easy for nutrition because a lot of this stuff happens behind closed doors, in consultations, and also between those in-person visits. And if we don't have a streamlined way to communicate with our clients, then they're going to be texting, Facebook messaging, emailing, and it's impossible for a gym owner to know what's going on with the nutrition coaching program. And ultimately, if you're not confident that your coaches are going to be delivering a program well, you're not going to sell it. Whoever's doing the sales, if they're not confident that this program is going to be delivered at the level of professionalism as the fitness program or delivering results, you're not going to sell it. And if you're not confident, the buyer on the other end, the person that really needs the service, nutrition, fitness, and accountability, is not going to sign up for that package. They're just going to sign up for fitness only. Ultimately, we're doing a disservice in helping them reach their health and wellness goals. So today's podcast guest, Nikki, we're going to talk about how to think about coach development. And more importantly, what should your role be as an owner? Now, I feel like every time I say owners don't have to wear all the hats and don't have to do all the nutrition coaching in your gym, it's like a sigh of relief from gym owners listening to me talk at a CrossFit Summit or another seminar in-person event for gym owners. And the truth is you don't, but you do need to feel confident that if someone signs up for the program, it's going to be delivered at the level of professionalism that you want. So we're going to talk about what your role is as a gym owner, why you should be thinking about developing a nutrition coaching team, even if it's just 2 people. Ultimately, you don't want a whole leg of your business relying on one person. And then we're going to end with healthcare partnerships. Now, this is something that I've been talking about a lot because I think it's a huge opportunity to empower health outside of the 4 walls of your gym. There's over 60% of the US population with one chronic disease. That's a lot of people that need help. And we're not trending in a direction where people are taking control of the health. In fact, the healthcare system is meant to treat disease, not prevent it or reverse it. So if you set up a partnership referral system and walk alongside these healthcare professionals, I'd really call them sick care professionals, you can have an incredible impact in your community. So make sure you stay tuned till the end. I hope you enjoy this podcast episode. We will get to this episode right after this message. Did you know that HSN Mentoring provides a turnkey solution to help you build, launch, and grow a nutrition coaching program? Everything from training to ongoing support to all this coach development we're talking about today, and an app to manage your clients. Everything is done for you, written, backed, and overseen by our dietitian team so that you can deliver a nutrition coaching program at the level of professionalism that you are wanting for your business. If you're a gym owner, click the link in the show notes and book a free call today. We would love to help you. All right, let's get to this podcast episode with Nikki. Nikki, welcome to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It has been a while since you've been on here. you've been super busy with your gym, running an awesome nutrition program at Graham Strength and Conditioning, but also building into some really key roles here at HSN Mentoring. And I thought it'd be a really fun conversation to have around some of the stuff you've been up to with developing coaches from your experience as a gym owner, but then also leading a lot of the coach development here at HSN Mentoring.
Absolutely. It's been a really fun process.
Amazing. Well, let's dive in. I think one of the core initiatives that we have at HSN Mentoring is empowering confident coaches. And there's such a difference between going through an online course and reading a book than actually delivering a confident nutrition program where you truly believe in the service that you're providing. And not only you as a coach, but the people that are selling the program. Like, do they have the confidence that the coach is delivering the nutrition coaching program? And when I think about this, I think about, as a gym owner or a fitness coach, reading through a level 1 manual or going through even the level 1 training course is really great. But if you've never taken a CrossFit class, it'd be really tough to feel confident coaching your first CrossFit class without experiencing it. So talk to me about what it looks like in regards to coach development, empowering confident coaches, and really the experience side that coaches get to have in HSN Mentoring.
Absolutely. Well, I think it starts with the Coaching the Coaches program, right? And I must say, this is one of my favorite additions that HSN has over the years added to the program, because it really does allow the new coaches to be empowered, because they get to see the gold standards for nutrition coaching, right? From the top, leading from example by the HSN team, what it looks like to be a client from that perspective. And I love that we do it at the same time that they're going through the training, because it really helps them to see the parallels between what they're learning and then how those tools they're learning and scripts look like in real life. So I think that's super helpful just for them to have that good example going into and coming out of training.
100%. Even simple things like, what do weekly check-in videos look like? What if the client is doing the things, or what if they're not? How do those differ? One of the things that we talk a lot about is food photos. And this is actually was something that you brought up during the last Coaching the Coaches meeting. I was like, okay, how are we giving feedback on food in photo logging, right? Like taking pictures of food. So many coaches come to HSN, with experience of tracking macros. And my goal is not to have every single person log every single thing that they eat, because the truth is they're not measuring out what they're eating likely. Like, you're not taking a scale with you to, an event or out to eat. Like, let's be able to take a picture and see, is this a balanced meal, and give people some feedback. Pictures don't lie too. And it's cool to have those conversations with our team and then see the output of how things are changing and engagement is evolving with some of those additions.
Absolutely. I think photo logging is absolutely brilliant, because, as you said, tracking macros, it can work. It's a great tool, but I think that is a short-term tool, right? We're trying to help clients learn how, longevity, lifestyle, being able to eventually do this on their own and be able to look at their own plate and know and feel confident and empowered that they are getting what they need, not too much, not too little. And the only way to do that is by working with a coach and going through that process. And I think that, coaches do need to see what that looks like, again, from that gold standard. What kind of questions should we be asking? What should we be looking for? And what is just enough feedback from a coach? What is too much feedback? What does that look like, right?
Yeah, it's so interesting to me for people that track macros. I actually was just on a podcast recently, and the person who was interviewing me tracks strict macros. And he was like, yeah, I was so busy. I didn't have enough time when I got home, and I had a lot of calories left to eat. So I just grabbed 2 whole pizzas from Whole Foods and I ate the whole pizza. I was like, you ate an entire pizza so that you met your macros for the day. Like, is that what you're saying to me? And I was like, well, how did you feel after that? And how did you sleep going to sleep right after you eat an entire pizza? He's like, oh, not good. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, Do you think maybe if you had a little bit more balance, it would be a little bit of a better situation for you in regards to how you're feeling now? You're just like, yeah, probably. So it's interesting because even when you look at the research around people tracking macros, a lot of times it ends up leading to disordered eating where we're throwing out the whole foods first because we have to meet a number for the day. And is that the best option for us? Probably not. Okay.
100%.
I'll get off my tangent about macros. I think one of the things that's really helpful with coaching the coaches is, nutrition coaching isn't a set, here's your plan and follow it. And so when coaches can realize you're really meeting the client where they're at, you're keeping them accountable and they can experience it in their own life, ultimately they're going to feel more confident when doing that instead of saying, okay, here's your meal plan, here's your macros, meet them for the day. I think that crutch gives coaches some confidence because either you did it or you didn't versus, no, we need to work with them and figure out what's going to be realistic for them. And it's a little bit more subjective.
For sure. And I love, probably the feedback we get the most in coaching the coaches is how they see that, working on one simple thing, how much easier and better it is for them and that it still yields results. And I think that's probably one of the most difficult asks we have at HSN as we're taking people through training is work on one thing, because I think that as coaches, we want to fix all the things. And as clients, when they are super motivated, they want to do all the things. But we know that that is not the best way. And it's great to be able to show them an example of how keeping it simple works.
I've seen a trend recently. So I do the graduation calls with gym owners at the end of training. And it's fun for all the pieces to be tied together with a bow by that call. They're like, I get it, how the questions work. I understand how this program will work and how I'll be able to really help my clients on such a deeper level. And that's the coolest thing because ultimately they're learning this stuff like you do in a textbook, but then they're seeing it in real life, which increases the stickiness so much more. So obviously coaching the coaches is a big piece of the initial training, but there's so much coach development. And, if you think about this related to a gym, you're not taking your level 1 and then you're done learning how to coach CrossFit. You're watching a ton of YouTube videos. You're learning different stretches and different skills and different cues to be able to do. One of the things I love to do is drop into different CrossFit gyms so that I can experience other coaches. I'm like, oh man, that was good. I'm going to go ahead and take that home with me. Last weekend at the CrossFit Affiliate Summit, Kevin Olgart had the worst and best, I would say, 60-second warm up. That I was like, man, if you have to get a huge group of people, I think there was 100 of us doing this workout, huge group of people warmed up in 60 seconds, this is the warm up to do. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take that home and put it in my toolbox. It's easy for us to think about this in the gym setting, but nutrition coaches, if you're not getting feedback and you're not intentional about learning more things and experiencing different ways to do things, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Right? So how are coaches able to continually develop with HSN mentoring? And then what are some tips for people that are listening and are like, I did my PN1 cert and that's all I've done to learn how to become a nutrition coach?
Yeah. Well, how much time do we have, Nicole? Because we offer so much training and development. It can almost be overwhelming, but in such a great way, right? I know, I'm sure you remember your days as a dietitian, you're getting a continuing education. I know with my physical therapy degree, I have to do the same. That gets expensive, right? And time consuming. And I just think it's so awesome that we do have an outlet that is consistently, selling these nutrition coaches cups, owners cups. We're trying to encourage them. We're always leveling up and trying to think of best practices and how to deliver a better program, which I feel like not only allows us to develop as owners and coaches, but it keeps you from becoming complacent and bored, right? So, I love that we do the mentoring calls every month. That's one of my favorite things to do. And on those mentoring calls, the role play, it's always super fun. So, the coaches bring client scenarios to us. Hey, this left me scratching my head. What would you have done or said? What do you recommend? And then we role play those conversations out, right? Which gives them the confidence to then go back and have those conversations with their clients in that next meeting. The coaches corners every Monday. I love how interactive those are. And I know that before I came on the HSN team, those were one of my favorite things, just simply because I got to interact with the HSN mentoring team, ask the questions, do the role play if that's necessary, and just get their perspective on how I could deliver a better program. So I think that was really cool. I love that we have the monthly webinars. Those are always really great. And I love when you guys bring the RDs on. So we get so many questions on those monthly mentoring calls, and people really do want to have feedback from, a registered dietitian's perspective. So I know like we have one coming up on gut health this month. Super pumped about that. Hormones. That's another really big one that people like to hear about. And so we've got trainings that are constantly evolving and always there, not only in person, but you can go back and watch them on demand via recordings. And then of course, your podcasts, those are amazing as well.
Yeah. So if, you're not a part of HSN mentoring and you're listening to this, go back and listen to some of the Greater Nutrition Business podcast episodes. The Nutrition Made Simple podcast is our sister podcast where I'll bring on the dietitian team. And just like going to a different CrossFit class, hearing other coaches talk about things adds more tools in your toolbox so then you can use those with your clients. Now, I think one of the benefits of having a nutrition team is we have a lot of different specialties within our HQ team. Like Amanda, for instance, she is so passionate about hormone health and gut health. And if I have any question at all related to hormone health or gut health, I'm not answering it or Googling it. Like I'm going to go to Amanda because she has 15 years of experience with those specialties. So she is a wealth of knowledge. I mean, I literally type in probably once a week, you are a wealth of knowledge because she has so much expertise in those areas. So why not put her forward to the front so that other coaches can learn while, of course, staying within their scope of practice, knowing that medical nutrition therapy is not something that our nutrition coaches can do unless you have this registered dietitian credential. But then you've got, Lorraine, who is so passionate about performance nutrition. And even she works with a lot of kids and families and spouses, which is a really cool dynamic. Then you have Brittany, who had years of experience working in the hospital and is so passionate about blood glucose and, managing your pre-diabetes, diabetes. So it's cool to get different perspectives and push those to the front. And I think a lot of nutrition coaches at gyms, maybe you're the only coach or maybe you have one other coach, but there's not an opportunity for you to like throw out a question that you have a client scenario and get instant feedback unless you're, connected with a larger group of coaches.
Yeah, I think that's the bottom line. Just having access to such a dynamic team with so much knowledge in different areas of expertise is incredible. Where else do you get that? Just instant access to those kind of people.
Right? No, we actually took our level 2 together. I was talking to Jason about this the other day. And I think just even the process of, training or like studying up for the level 2 made me a better CrossFit coach. Going to the level 2 in that evaluation, we did it back in the day when you were actually like evaluated during the weekend. There wasn't a test at the end beyond the evaluation. Like that made you a better coach. The coach evaluations is another really great example where our dietitian team, and Melinda is a part of this too, where you're going through an initial consultation. Are you delivering a nutrition program at the level of excellence? My goal is that I can send any person who reaches out to us to any gym that is partnered with HSN and feel confident that whether they're working with them or someone at our HQ location, it's going to be a consistent experience. And it literally happened last night. Someone messaged us and they're like, we're in Mobile, Alabama, and I'm looking for an HSN coach. I'm like, okay, no problem. Here's a couple of gyms that are in the area. Go check them out. And I'm confident that you're going to have a really great experience. And ultimately, I don't know that every gym owner could feel that same way if they have multiple coaches. Is it a consistent experience? Is everyone speaking the same language? Is everyone following up the same way? Or do you have one coach that's following up every single day, twice a day with the clients, and the other one's following up at a normal cadence? And your nutrition clients are going to talk to each other. You want it to be a consistent value. And if you don't have templates and rubrics and do those evaluations, how do you confidently know that everyone is getting a consistent experience?
Right. And that goes hand in hand with doing your quarterly evaluations with the nutrition team, right? But at the head of that, whether it's a head nutrition coach or as the owner, if you're the lead support of that team, I also think it's really important to note that going through that evaluation process ensures that you are up to date on best practices. I'll remember way back in the day when I started HSN, we didn't have that evaluation process yet, right? And so I remember when it came on board and, I'm not going to lie, I came to that call pretty cocky. I knew what I was doing. I'd been coaching for a long time, right? And I was given some really good feedback and learned that, you know what, there were some things I was not up to date on. It's very hard to, unless you're plugged in 24/7, there are just things you can miss. And the things that I was missing at the time were super valuable for me to then take back to my program and to my team. It totally leveled up the service that we were providing to our clients. So I thought that was such a great addition as well. And I think it's great for whoever is the head of the nutrition program to go through that every year, right? Like we offer that once a year and then take that back to their team to make sure everyone is on board.
Yeah, ultimately, why we started that evaluation is I knew that our HQ location wasn't going to be able to make the impact by ourselves. And I wanted to confidently be able to say, hey, go to CrossFit Mobile. They've got an amazing nutrition coach and they'll be able to help you, and truly feel confident that that experience would be at the level of professionalism that I'm wanting for our HQ coaches. And when we created the Hire a Nutrition Coach Director and we started actively pushing people through the Nutrition Made Simple podcast to other gyms that are partnered with us, I was like, we can't just have a test at the end that someone can look through all of their notes. Like I need to know that they are doing a good job at the level of professionalism that I set we as a team set the standard for. So I'm excited about that. The annual evaluation, yes, that's something that every gym needs to be taking advantage of. And it's a required part of the training. The last step of the training process is the evaluation. If you don't pass, then you don't graduate from training. You got to go back and get some extra coaching, and we provide that additional support. But ultimately, if you lean into the training, if you study, if you practice, if you lean into the coaching and coach's experience, you're going to have everything you need to set yourself up for success.
For sure. And I think that new coaches appreciate that as much as it can be nerve-wracking. It is good at the end of the day to know that, okay, I am ready to start seeing my clients, or I might not be glowing yet. I'm growing. I need to grow my development a little bit so that I can confidently, deliver this service.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. And ultimately we all can improve and we all can get better. And there's areas that are highlighted like, hey, you're doing awesome. Lean into these things. And here's some things and some additional resources to help you improve. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit, put your owner, lead nutrition coach hat on. Talk to me about the importance as an owner to have a nutrition team and not have all of your eggs in one person's basket.
Yeah. I remember there was a point where I had 50 nutrition clients all by myself. And while that was cool and I love nutrition coaching, I will tell you that it really held me back from a lot of things as well. It held me back in regards to how many people I could serve in my own gym, my own capacity, but also in the community. I had no capacity to do anything other than run my gym and see clients. It was something too. I remember that there was a point where I, fell ill, and it got me thinking, I have no one to have my back. This is not okay. Right. And so that's when the wheels got turning, started adding to the team. And to be honest, I learned even more after adding them to the team than I knew was possible. I really realized not only can you grow your program, you don't have to turn anyone away. You have more capacity to do things like corporate wellness and getting out in the community, but it's more fun, right? It's just more fun. And you have more things to offer. Like you were talking about the HSN team, it's now that it's not just you, we've got people that have niches in all these different areas. Same thing when you grow your team, and it just makes it very diverse and very fun.
We have one of our nutrition coaches right now that's pregnant, and that happens sometimes. So she's going to take some time off. And if I only had her as a nutrition coach and I didn't want to wear that hat, maybe I love nutrition, but I don't have the capacity to wear that hat. What happens to my nutrition program? And I've seen too many times gym owners get a program up and running, and for whatever reason, the nutrition coach has to take time off, or moves or whatever. And then it's like, oh man, this is coming onto my plate, or it's going to fizzle out until I find someone else. And let's preemptively avoid that problem, avoid that obstacle by having someone else to support the role. That's why we recommend within 3 to 6 months of launching, you have a second coach ready to go to help support the role. Because the truth is too, every nutrition coach is going to have a different ideal client, right? We just added our first guy nutrition coach, Zach, who's been connected with the HSN family for a long time. And he's an endurance athlete. So I know that he is going to be best positioned to serve those endurance people that are looking for help around their nutrition and health and wellness. And we'll leave the hormone health people to Amanda, who loves to serve those people. And then you can have a list of clients of the coach's ideal client instead of saying, okay, here's everyone that you need to take care of. And maybe they don't love helping that certain type of person.
Right. And, there's also the other point of worst case scenario, I think, for any of us that our mission in life is to help more people, is turning people away. So I always tell people, once yourself or any of your coaches, all of your coaches get to about that 70% capacity, we need to be looking for our next coach. And, don't be afraid of what that looks like. I hear that a lot. Well, what if I can't find them clients? What if we can't pay them? It is in my experience that if you build it, they will come. Every single time I've added another coach to the roster, our clientele has grown, which increases the revenue. So all of those worries kind of melt away. You just have to take that leap of faith and do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend if you are a gym owner with one nutrition coach right now and you're like, oh, where do I find someone else? Nurses, teachers, social workers, invite them to be a client first. Let them experience what your program looks like. If you're not sure what your program looks like, I talked about this at the CrossFit Summit last weekend. I was like, owners, if you don't know what your program's about, sign up for your nutrition program and see, is it being delivered at the level of professionalism that you're wanting for your program? And if not, make some changes so that it is, and then bring on someone else to support the role. But what I've found is people think nutrition coaching is, I'm going to give you something, tell you what to do, and then that's it. And it's so much more than that. If you're going to increase the length of engagement with clients and truly help them make meaningful change, it's all about the accountability and support, meeting the client where they're at, addressing not only nutrition, but all the other factors that are influencing nutrition decisions. And if people think it's one thing and it's something different, you might end up creating some friction and they might not love it as much as you think that they would. So avoid that obstacle by having them be a client first, experience it, and also see, does the current nutrition coach jive with the potential new coach? Like, are they going to work well together? Because ultimately they're going to be a team and they're going to have to work closely together.
Absolutely. Everybody should complement each other. And, something else that's really great about adding to the team is, I hear this a lot too. We want to do nutrition talks, or we want to do talks in our community, or we want to do this or that, but we don't have time. Well, guess what helps that? Adding more people to the team, right? Someone's going to have capacity. So I think that can be really fun too.
There's some behind the stuff things that need to get done, like behind the scenes things with that aren't client facing. They're not just checking in with clients or meeting with them. People need to know that your nutrition program exists, right? So if you're not talking about it, your nutrition coaches aren't talking about it, people aren't going to associate you, your business, with health related to that. So the nutrition coaches can divide the roles of, okay, who's making the videos? And you make 2 videos, I make 2 videos. Now we have 1 video going out a week related to nutrition. One thing that we challenged the coaches team to do was to share client wins every week. And I think I was talking to Jason about this, my husband, this morning. I was like, man, what's been really cool is I know the program works. Like, I've helped a lot of people, but sometimes you get so far away from actually all the wins that are happening with the program. If you're not actually working with people and you only hear them, occasionally or not as often, the client wins, social media posts have been so fun to watch. Someone screenshotted the other day, my wedding ring finally fits again. I got tagged in a post yesterday that my A1C is down to 5.9 now, where, that's a pre-diabetic marker, and it's super awesome to see. And, sometimes it's just the nutrition coaches that are seeing this stuff. But now on social media, and we talk about a client wins channel in Slack, which is super helpful. So all the coaches can see, but I think it's even more powerful to put it on social media because now everyone on your personal following is seeing those wins too. And the more people see wins that are happening with your program, the more likely they are going to come and work with you.
Totally. And especially when they're super relatable wins. Like you said, the wedding ring fitting better. There are probably hundreds of people within that person's, exposure that has experienced that before and would like help with that, or the A1C lowering. So I think that's great. And I agree. It's great for owners to see that too. I think that's one of the things that can really help you prevent and avoid burnout is seeing the impact of your program and celebrating those wins along the way.
100%. Jason and I did we were at a tennis tournament yesterday, and one of the members of our gym put it on, and she's telling everyone, I've been a part of this gym for 3 months doing nutrition and fitness. I lost 25 pounds. And she must have told 50 people yesterday about this awesome program, but it's cool. I don't work with her. She's told me that she's doing awesome, but it was cool just to hear her tell everyone. And I just like what you were saying, to avoid burnout, you have to see the wins consistently, which sometimes we forget to do. So if you're listening to this and you're like, how do you share client wins? We have our coaches take screenshots of what the Bright Spot Friday, what is a win that's happened, and put it on this little template that we made. If you are unsure what it looks like, go to the Healthy Steps Nutrition Instagram page and you can see a client wins highlight reel and you can see some of the ones that we've posted recently. But I think if you are a nutrition coach, tag the gym in that, tag the owner in that, repost it to the gym, to the owner, so that it's not just the nutrition coach is following that's seeing it, it's all of those followings that are seeing it.
Yeah, you can also tag the people in which the comments came from, so then they can share it on their stories as well. Mm-hmm. Something you said to me stood out though, Nicole, when you were talking about your client that was singing your praises of your program, and you said, I'm not working with her, but she comes from your program. I think that shows the impact that you've had, of course, leading and growing your nutrition program and making it so strong and having the right people in place and trained so well that that's happening, which goes hand in hand with the role as the owner with your team and making sure you are doing all the things to ensure that these people represent you and your brand well, right?
This brings up a really good point that I think is important to talk about. Some owners, especially back in the day with HSN, when gym owners partnered with us, they'd be like, all right, I'm sending my coach through it and you're going to do all the things. And I'm going to step away. This isn't my area. Ultimately, every program that you run in your business is a reflection of you as an owner. So while, yes, you invested in a coach to deliver the program, there's still a piece of it that you need to be a part of. Number one, to show that the coach, to increase the engagement with the coaches, if the owner is bought in and working well with the nutrition coach, they're going to be more excited to further the mission of the program, right? They're going to feel supported. So talk to me about, as a gym owner, what should you be thinking about when it comes to involvement with the nutrition program? Because not all owners have a passion for nutrition. Not all owners are like, yeah, I want to work with nutrition clients. And that's okay. You don't need to work with nutrition clients. You need some people that is their passion and they love to do it. But what should you be doing as an owner?
Yeah, I think it is a very odd disconnect there with a lot of gym owners. And I agree with you. You don't have to love nutrition or want to do nutrition, but the way I look at it is if you have ever been through any mentoring program as a gym owner before or listened to any training, right? The first step is that you do all the things, you create all the SOPs and do them really well. And then you grow a team and teach them to go forward and do those things, right? So that it's done correctly from the top down and you can be a great manager of those things. And it's no different with nutrition, right? I think a lot of us open a gym. We have no idea what we're getting ourselves into. A lot of us were not business majors, but we still had to do the things, make the SOPs, grow our team. It's the same thing with nutrition. Even if you are not ultimately wanting to be in that role, you still need to do the things, get them down pat, create those SOPs and know them like the back of your hand. So then you can make sure that the team is delivering that package.
Yeah, I don't remember when we decided to require gym owners to go through the training, but I think it took us way too long to start that. And it's been cool for gym owners to go through it so they can experience it. And many of them will not actually coach clients. That's okay, but they understand what it should look like. They understand how to keep their coaches accountable. Because ultimately, you're the one that has your boots on the ground. You're the one that's going to be able to support your coaches. Yes, our team is there to help you, but you need to know what's going on so that everything's getting done the way that you want it.
Yeah. And, as the coach, even if they are the head nutrition coach, they're doing all the things for the owner. They still want to feel supported. They still want to feel like what they're doing matters. And the best way for you to do that is to be involved and really understand how it works, right? So I think that, it's really important to not only have your monthly nutrition staff meetings, but be on those mentoring calls with your team. Even if you're just kind of silent in the back, you still know what's going on. You can be there for important decisions or questions they might have and understand what they're working on, what they might be struggling on or with. So I think that's one way we can really support them as the owner.
100%. I think a bright and shiny object for so many gym owners is employee wellness. And they're like, man, I want to do employee wellness. This is so exciting. I want to do partnerships. And we're talking a lot about healthcare partnerships right now, which is ironic. Emily from Morning Chalk Up sent me a message yesterday asking to do an interview on how to set up healthcare partnerships for gym owners. So hopefully that comes out in Morning Chalk Up soon. But there's a place for a gym owner in this. You can't just rely on your nutrition coach to set up the partnership, because what if that nutrition coach leaves? Then you don't have the relationship with the person to continue the partnership. Instead, you as an owner need to go and set up the partnerships. You have people to fulfill and deliver the program. And I can say from experience, I made this mistake once or twice, and I lost a corporate deal because I had a nutrition coach do the whole thing. And I never really made the connection with the owner other than an initial call, and that was it. And that was a mistake for us. It cost us thousands of dollars. And when you think about building relationships and employee wellness, owners need to be involved in those initial conversations. They need to be involved in the final conversations after you're wrapping up an initial appointment, in the intentional check-ins, because you're the leader of your tribe and you can't put that relationship on another person.
Yeah. And if that seems overwhelming, divide and conquer, right? Maybe you grow up a really great nutrition team to support clients in the gym, remote clients, things like that, so that it frees up your time to go pursue corporate wellness, right?
And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be the one delivering the nutrition coaching in the corporate wellness, but you need to be the one initiating those conversations, building the relationship, following up with a program after it initially wraps up. It's interesting. The OMP, the Owners Mastermind Project, is a meeting that we host with HSN Mentoring every single month. And the owners that are in that call are the ones leading the way with employee wellness and healthcare partnerships. On the call a couple weeks ago, an owner's like, yep, you had the healthcare partnership webinar, and then I ended up setting a meeting up with a surgeon, and now I'm going to bring in our nutrition coach to talk in more depth. What does it look like, so that the nutrition coach and I will be in those initial conversations, and then we're going to create this referral system where they're just sending nutrition clients to us. Likely those people, especially they're post-surgery or getting surgery soon, they're not going to do CrossFit right away. Maybe eventually they will, but they are going to start with nutrition coaching. We know a lot of people that are having knee and back issues, a lot of it's weight driven. So if they lose some weight, the recovery, this from physical therapy, the recovery is going to be so much better. If they're eating more whole foods and cutting out sugar and alcohol, the inflammation is going to be less. So the recovery is going to be better, which is a reflection of the surgeon. So of course they want that. It's interesting to see, when you connect gym owners together who are all leading the way in this way, they all inspire each other and tag team and use the ideas that their conversations, the things that they're setting up to inspire other gym owners to take that next step in expanding their reach outside of the walls of their gym.
Yeah. Well, it's just like seeing those wins from nutrition clients inspires other people to take action to do nutrition coaching. Same thing. When people see that other gym owners are doing this, it's working and it's expanding their reach and giving them that exposure. it's exciting and it makes them feel like they can do that too. So it is very empowering.
If you are a gym owner or nutrition coach and you're like, man, I want to set up healthcare partnerships, it starts with just starts with one. And I'm sure you have a nurse practitioner, doctor, nurse, someone in private practice, ideally is who I would start with. We do have some gyms that have set up partnerships with hospitals, but that's a lot more doors that have to get opened for you to be able to do that. Start with the private practices first, where it's less people, less yeses that you have to get. And then you go in, you train the staff, get some flyers, and then be consistently present in the facility. Maybe you do a quarterly lunch just to get the staff all speaking the same language. Because think about a doctor's office. The average doctor's office has 1,000 patients. The average doctor spends 17 to 24 minutes with a patient. The likelihood of other people, the nurse aide, the nurse, the front desk person, being able to reinforce, oh, Dr. Rodriguez recommended that you go see our dietitian, Healthy Subs Nutrition. Awesome. Here's the link to book a discovery call, or here, take this flyer and you can book a free discovery call to get started with them. They're really great. Maybe they've even used your program so they can talk about it from experience. Consistency in building the relationships is key with these healthcare partnerships, and honestly, a really good opportunity, especially if you have set up something like TrueMed where you accept HSA, FSA accounts. 30% of the US population has these flexible spending accounts. They can use it for nutrition coaching, which is really awesome.
For sure. And lean into those relationships. I know you mentioned that, but your members, they are one of the best pools to pull from. I know I've had clients before that told me that they went to their doctor and they were singing our praises and the doctor was floored by their results. And I've said, can you introduce me?
Yeah.
Right. Like, take me to your next appointment, or can you ask them if I can give them a call? I'd love to talk to them, use those warm leads. They have the relationship and, are happy to help, make those connections.
100%. It makes up a great point. Having a warm lead instead of knocking on doctor's offices' doors is going to help you be able to take the next step. And once you have a couple doctors, all the doctors talk to each other. And they're all looking for the same stuff. Like, if someone goes to your program and has an exceptional experience and starts seeing really good results and is able to get off some medications and feels better, it's a reflection of the doctor too. Like, hey, they are the ones that referred you to that facility. And the truth is doctors in the hospital setting and private practice, they understand the system is broken. Like, we can create them as the villains of like, oh, they're just giving medications. But in reality, that's the way the system is set up. They're not set up to be able to sit down and provide accountability and give meaningful change, like support to empower people to make meaningful change. They also have only they've taken one nutrition course maybe in school. Like, they don't know. I hosted that healthcare partnership webinar for HSN mentoring clients. It's in the platform for an HSN mentoring client, so go watch it. And one of the owners on there, I can tell that she was like, yeah, I just don't know, like, how do my credential, like, just having that imposter syndrome, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they're the ones with the MD credentials. How am I going to be able to help serve their patients? The truth is they don't have the capacity. They don't have the systems. They don't have the structure. Fundamentally, we all know eating more whole foods is better and eating less sugar and processed junk is better, right? But do they have the systems to be able to provide simple, actionable steps and keep people accountable? They don't have that. Not one doctor has that. So that's where you come in.
And you're only going to help them look better. It's just like your fitness coaches getting people to your nutrition program. It's only going to make them look better as coaches. These practitioners, it's only going to make them look better when their numbers are getting better, when they're recovering faster, all of those things. So if you're struggling with that imposter syndrome of, oh, these doctors don't want to talk to me, throw that out the window, because that's totally not true. And creating those partnerships, in my experience, is really beneficial for your members as well. Mm-hmm. We've got partnerships with chiropractors and physical therapists, and it's great to have those connections when you have clients that need that. You have someone there that aligns with your mission values.
100%. I love that. Well, gosh, we talked about so much today, Nikki. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Any final thoughts as we wrap up today?
I just would say that if you are an HSN client, please dig into all the resources that we have. We want to support you. We have the resources there to support you. And we love talking to you guys on the mentoring calls to help support you wherever you need. And if you're not an HSN member of the team yet, I would definitely think about all of the tools and support that we provide there as well, because I'll tell you as an owner, I have not found anywhere else that gives as much as you do, Nicole. So thank you for that.
Well, we have an amazing team. It is definitely not me anymore. We have you guys, rock stars that are truly making such an impact to empower confident coaches. Nikki, thank you for all that you do. We are headed up to Nashville next week. By the time this aired, that will be last week for the Gym Accelerator Summit. You're going to be leading some breakouts there. It's going to be such a fun time to connect with gym owners and coaches and just people that are realizing, hey, I want to be able to make a greater impact in my gym. And I want to bridge the gap between fitness and health inside of my gym and outside of the four walls of my gym. So thank you in advance for all that you're going to do to empower and inspire the attendees at the Gym Accelerator Summit.
It is truly my pleasure. And I cannot wait to get there and experience that inspiration that we all lead with.
Oh, amazing. I hope you enjoyed that podcast episode with Nikki. If you're an HSN mentoring client, take advantage of those mentoring calls. If you're an owner, please be on the mentoring calls so that you can best support your nutrition coaching team. And likely you have a vision that we want to make sure that we are propelling it forward with the addition of nutrition coaching programs. It also is going to help ensure that there's alignment between the nutrition coaching team and the gym owner. So make sure you jump on those calls. The coach development webinars, the nutrition coaching webinars are so valuable to give coaches more tools in their toolbox. This month, our webinar is on gut health. We have Amanda Haar, one of the lead registered dietitians at Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ, who specializes in hormone and gut health, leading a webinar on this topic. We're so excited to have her in. It is going to be April 30th. So if you're an HSN mentoring client, make sure that you go into the platform and register for that webinar. Of course, you can catch the recording if you can't make it live. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. HSN Mentoring provides a turnkey solution to help you build, launch, and grow a nutrition coaching program. So if you're looking to save time and not reinvent the wheel, we would love to help you. Click the link in the show notes and book a free call today. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, Nicole, I'm doing it myself right now, give me 2 tips. Number 1 is figure out, what do you want your nutrition coaching program to look like? From the moment someone signs up to the moment they are a 9-month client, what does that journey look like? Ensure that whoever's delivering the nutrition coaching program is delivering it at the level of professionalism that you are wanting for your business. If you have multiple nutrition coaches, make sure that we sit down, sign up as a client, go through initial consultations with both of them, see what the experience is like. In a gym, your nutrition clients talk to each other, so it's so important that you're delivering a professional and consistent experience. If you have a nutrition coach in mind, a couple episodes ago, we talked about a day in the life of a Healthy Steps nutrition coach, so you could really understand, what does nutrition coaching look like? Listen to that podcast episode if you don't know what your client journey is about, so that you can kind of mock what we do and how we help people. Believe me, there's been a lot of trial and error, emphasis on the error, on what to do to best serve clients, increase engagement. If you're thinking about building a nutrition coaching program, you know it's important, but you don't have the time, send that episode to a friend or someone you think might be interested in being a nutrition coach for you so that they can get an idea. It's always easier for people to understand what it looks like before committing yes or no, I want to do this or I don't want to do it. You don't want to invest time, energy, resources into training someone and getting a program up and running if they're ultimately not going to be a good fit. So, hope this episode was super helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe, because this podcast actually gives a lot of coach development, and leave us a review. We'll see you back here next week.